Hey everyone, Reed here with Big Strong Book, and today we're going to be talking about Omensetter'S Luck by William H. Gass. This book is one that I've been meaning to get to for a while, or I should say Gass in general has been an author whom I've been meaning to read for quite some time. Gass is an American postmodern author. I think most commonly known for his second novel, which was published in the 90s, called The Tunnel. But this was his much shorter and maybe less complex, who knows, novel, Omensetter'S Luck. I think this was published in 1966. It is very much so a postmodern novel. And I think I enjoyed it as much as I could. It's just a novel like this, which is absolutely relentless in its style. It's just forward momentum through, I would say, the story, but there's no plot. It's the bulk of this novel is a character exploration, and so much of it is just experiencing the ride of this character's mind, which I can admire, and that is something that I have emulated in some writing, and a project I'm working on right now is similar to that. But of course, as always, it can be jarring to read something like that. So a little about what this book is about, what the at least the setting, a little bit of the plot. So this book takes place in the town of Galeen in Ohio in the late 1800s, kind of around the time that the title character, Brackett Omensetter, and his family move in to Galeen. And Omensetter is quickly known for these weird spells of luck that comes to him. For example, and it's honestly not major, but it's of course really blown up, and it just becomes a saying around the town. You have Omensetter's luck, which means kind of random, truly random, fortuitous luck, but in many respects almost preordained in a way. So, for example, someone is sick in this, or somebody is injured, or at least has an ailment, and Omensetter is able to kind of use this random concoction, and it works. And it's not really, even for the time, conventional medicine, but it works. Omensetter's luck. His wife is pregnant, and he says it will be a boy, and it's a boy. Omensetter's luck, I guess. And it's about Omensetter, but at the same time, this really is not. Which is, the book starts in a certain direction. At first, we follow this kind of bumbling. I couldn't tell if he was just very old, or a character who was old and mentally challenged. Character Irabestis Tot, where there's this auction going on in town, and he's kind of bumbling along, and he likes to watch people, and he's watching these kids, and he's trying to engage with them, and he's telling the kids about all these stories that he has from this town. Tot is kind of like this almost like a last remnant of what the town used to be, and some people kind of give him the time of day, and are willing to hear him out and hear what he has to say, but then there are just as many people, and the children especially, who kind of brush him aside. We only spend a little bit of time with Tot, and then we go into the character of Henry Pimber, who is Omensetter's landlord. And I mean, I guess the best way I can say this is that Gas explores these characters who are fundamentally mentally broken. Fundamentally mentally broken. And the way that they view the world is one of constant stimulus and concern sometimes, paranoia, worry, a little bit of introspection there. Henry Pimber is in equal parts afraid of Omensetter. He's resentful of him. He's terrified, and in many respects, the heart and soul character of this novel, the Reverend Jethro Furber, very much so, is equal parts paranoid, angry, lustful, terrified, almost just hilarious in an almost tragic way, shell of a man. And so the section with Pimber isn't that long, and I think probably about 2/3 of the book is spent with Jethro Furber. A lot of it is his thoughts with himself, him muttering these almost incoherent statements about the nature of the world, of good and evil, of reality, and his loathsome and almost hateful or maybe just pitiful attitude towards everybody else in the town. And it's mixed in with sophomoric humor. And he's a character that like speaks in rhymes sometimes. Towards the end of the book, he goes off on a spiel of limericks, trying to be funny, but even characters hate him as just as much as the reader does by that point. And I'm not saying hate in terms of hate the quality of the characterization or the prose or something. You despise the character, which is, I believe, is William as Gas intended. And he is very resentful in particular towards Omensetter, and is trying to do many things in his power to kind of sabotage the Omensetter family and their reputation. He's trying to make them outcast because he believes primarily that Omensetter has this power that circumvents a more direct divine power through Christ, through God, and he views it almost as his duty to root that out. But at the same time, he is also a priest who has tremendous doubts about his own faith, and it is shown to be an incredibly contradictory, sinful, and just ultimately pitiful. Jethro, there may not be a more pitiful character that I've read in a while. Kind of the same way that Gollum in The Lord of the Rings is a pitiful kind of mongrel beast that is just beaten around. And that's exactly the kind of impression I got from reading this about Jethro Furber, is that he just, through his expressive and vehement, partially external, partially internal rants, he just raves both against God and for God, and hates himself and loves himself, like Gollum and Smeagol. And he also has a particular just obsession with control over his diocese and control over the town, and wanting to, purify people, but in a way in a way that he doesn't even really understand how to do it, and he's so obsessed with it. And again, in part of the great humor in this book comes from his real, or at least it seems his real interactions and conversations with people around town, where they just get so, and it reads off the page so well. They just get so visibly annoyed with him, upset. They're like, dude, just go away, just stop, just it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. And make, I don't know if it's a commentary, or a statement on those who or the need to have those kind of metaphysical uh, questioning going on, or concern, or personal debate, but that you might let it subsume you, kind of like Jethro Furber. And he is also obsessed with tradition in the respect of wanting to be validated by the dead, wanting to be validated by the priest who preceded him in the role, in Galeen. And again, it's just it's something that you have to, that you have to read uh, to see and to experience. It's not something that can be so easily communicated, I think, in a review, especially a verbal review like this, where I can make some reference to the text, but not going all out on it. It's so with such again a relentless focus on Furber. I think I liked it. This is maybe a 3 out of 5 for me, just on a first pass. Maybe reapproaching it, knowing how pitiful of a character Furber is, and understanding the kind of juxtaposition between his almost endless spiraling, mixed with the moments of crude levity that act as a counterweight or counterbalance. Maybe going back into it with those eyes, it might help. And I know that this book isn't, or at least it doesn't seem to be that widely read. And out of the 3 novels that Gass wrote, the most popular is probably The Tunnel, which again I have not read, and so maybe that's a better example of his work. And of course, the end of this book has an afterword by the author where he almost apologizes for the book ending in a hurry. It does kind of end in a hurry. And he says that the manuscript was stolen, and that it was stolen by a colleague at a university he taught at, and he wanted to kill him. I doubt that that's true, but who knows? It very well might be. So this is just, it's something that it would take me a couple readings, maybe 2 or 3 read-throughs to really know for sure what my opinion of is, and not to let the knee-jerk reaction of, oh, I'm so overwhelmed, so I'm going to give it a high rating. I'm going to give it a middle-of-the-road rating because this was entertaining. It maybe not so much as in what I took away from it, what I understood from it, but just the reading it for the style alone, for the structure, the total subsuming, all-consuming stream of consciousness is style of the Jethro Furber sections, which again take up about 2/3 of the book. So in that regard, if you're looking for that, just like total batshit crazy 1800s American Midwest priest, read Omensetter'S Luck. if that's not your style, I would not recommend it because so much of the book is like that. And again, because it's something that I think would take a couple readings, it might not be worth your time if you're somebody who doesn't really dig that or can or is in that for the long haul. So, and as I'm looking on the back of the book, it has an endorsement from Walker Percy, and Walker Percy's an author I've been meaning to read for a while. And I know he kind of writes in that relentless stream of consciousness style. So, I guess if you like Walker Percy, maybe this would be the book for you. So, Omensetter'S Luck, William H. Gass. If you've read this or anything by Gass, let me know what you think, and let me know if you were maybe like me and read this book and was like, okay, maybe a couple more readings, and then I'll have a good, more solid opinion, understanding, and appreciation from it. So, yeah, just let me know what you guys think. And as always, I will see you guys next time.